After Benjamin Sesko deal was done and dusted, now the big deal that we are eyeing is all about a player known as Baleba Carlos, and that's where all United fans are really targeting. And guess what? Personal terms huge hint has gone ahead to be revealed by Fabrizio Romano and other 1-2 journalists that are don't really term as tier 1, but they might be tapping. But guess what? Fabrizio Romano and David Austin gave them a hint, and they've gone ahead obviously jump after this. Smash the like button, comment and share. If at all you're watching us for the very first time, endeavor to subscribe to this channel so as not to miss out on the stories that we do upload in here on a daily. Rokan David is the name that you really, or is the face that you're really looking at right now, and we're ready to obviously bring you the latest. Harry Amass is into the mix, as he's one of those that is one of those players that everyone is asking about his future, but his future has been finally settled in there for you, and we now know what the plan is for Harry Amass in there for you. And we're obviously going to be bringing you some snippet of what the manager of Man United has gone ahead to say about a player known as Benjamin Sesko, the new recruit at the club of Manchester United. So I call upon for your subscriptions, guys. Go into the comment section below. Go into the right bottom corner, smash the black button that has the word subscribe. After smashing it, hit the notification bell that will enable you get notified every time I upload a video onto our beautiful channel known as the United Matters channel. So let's obviously get into this Carlos Baleba story and see where United has gone ahead to reach as far as bringing him on at Old Trafford is really concerned. Now, yesterday, Fabrizio Romano told us that United are speaking with Carlos Baleba's agents even today, about contract and salary. On player side, they want to advance. However, nothing concrete with Brighton at the moment. Now, if you're really looking at that, that's what we call the personal terms. If you hear something concerning the contract, salary, and something concerning the player's side, that's all about the personal terms. You understand? So the Baleba personal terms are what United are working at first, because they want to obviously engage themselves into a huge conversation with the side of Brighton when they know to it that everything on the player's side is clear cut. You understand? And I think for any person who has obviously gone ahead to really do some bit of transfers, you know exactly that you need to first get green light from the player. You understand? Because for Brighton, they've shown us that at £100 million plus, they are willing to sell. So that means you can talk to the player. If the player gives you the go, it's okay. For them, they are hugely waiting for you at a certain point X, where they'll tell you, can you pay us £100 million? If you really can't pay them £100 million, then the personal terms that you've gone ahead to agree with the player will be as good as alive. But if you don't agree personal terms with the player, then it will be as good as dead, because you remember what Liverpool really did last summer transfer window. I think when they went ahead, obviously, getting Moise Caicedo. Liverpool, was it last summer transfer window? I think in 2023, when Liverpool went ahead to sign, Arsenal signed Rice and Liverpool wanted to sign Caicedo. Liverpool went ahead to obviously make a bid to Brighton, and the player had not gone ahead to give them his yes. And guess what happened? Chelsea, that had already gone ahead to agree personal terms with the player, came in through and obviously signed a player known as Moise Caicedo. So as it stands, I want to let you know that it's really agreeing personal terms that really comes fast. You understand? So United is working this bit, and they've been working on this bit throughout the night, and by the time it came to morning, we obviously had a story coming in from Indy Kayla. Indy Kayla is an award-winning account, elite reporters, and he's really one of those that you can't say he's really tier 1, but He's really one of those sources that you can rely to. He has told us that Baleba to Man United personal terms agreed. Carlos Baleba has made his intentions clear. He's verbally asked Brighton to let him move to Manchester United, and it gets even more interesting because Baleba's agent has given the thumbs up on the personal terms offer. So the personal terms that Man United have gone ahead to offer to Baleba have gone ahead to catch the eye of Baleba and his agent, and that calls it an agreement. And that means Manchester United has gone ahead to agree personal terms with Baleba. That is it. And when personal terms have gone ahead to be agreed, you know the duel. What comes next is United to approach Brighton, and I know the approach is obviously going to be one of the things that United will be planning for very, very, very soon. So, personal terms have been agreed. Baleba to Man United personal terms have gone ahead to be agreed, and what is left is to see to it that Man United obviously goes ahead to obviously tell the player that, tell Brighton that we now are coming at your table. And we all know to it that it's not going to be any easy business with the side known as Brighton, because they've always tried to make it hard for any of the people that have gone ahead to sign players that have gone ahead to stand out at the side of Brighton. You understand? You all know to it that Moise Caicedo, who went for £116 million from Brighton to Chelsea. I told you Cucurella from Brighton to Chelsea, £60 million plus. You can talk about a player known as João Pedro from Brighton to Chelsea, 60 to 65 million pounds. So for Baleba, looks like he's a standout player, and £100 million is what they've gone ahead to call in for. And I really did a story yesterday night that most of you have gone ahead obviously hugely watch, and I've gone ahead to see your comments, and I was like, all right, the people really love Baleba. Baleba is the talk about town at Manchester United, and the fans of Man United want to see Baleba sign for them. And guess what? Man United is moving in swiftly, you know, from Benjamin Sesko in a space of just 2 weeks. Remember, when United signed Bryan Mbeumo, Fabrizio Romano put out a post that United is in for a striker, a midfielder, and a goalkeeper. But the striker comes first. You know, in 2 weeks, they got the deal of Benjamin Sesko out of the way. Now, Benjamin Sesko was unveiled yesterday, and the moment he was on plane coming to Manchester United to undergo his medical, do you know what happened? We got a big story from David Austin and Fabrizio Romano that United have contacted the intermediaries of Carlos Baleba to obviously see him sign for the club of Manchester United. He's the preferred first choice midfielder for a man known as Ruben Amorim. Now, that's where we are right now, and I'm really excited at how United are really moving swiftly in there. But at the start of this business, I was really very perturbed with how United was obviously doing their business. I was really irritated because we used 2 months to sign 2 players. You know, we used 2 months to sign 2 players, and I think that was really held back, or were held back because of the players that we had to obviously move on. Rashford moving to Barcelona went ahead to really accelerate the deal of a man known as Sesko, and now Alejandro Garnacho's deal to Chelsea will be key for United obviously signing in a player known as Carlos Baleba. And for us, Baleba is a generational talent. If you're gonna hate to see him play, you can easily understand that he's one of those that you have to obviously have in your team. And that's why even teams like Man City have gone ahead to obviously raise up their hand, not the left one, but the right hand, to obviously show interest in signing the player. So we are waiting to see how things will pan out in here. But Baleba is really one of those that everyone at Man United is really looking at and waiting for to obviously coming through and really put in a very huge shift into that midfield, because a player for £100 million cannot obviously be benched. You can all agree with me. A player for £100 million, there is no way you can bench him. you can all agree with me, you cannot bench a player who has gone ahead to cost you £100 million, meaning that he gets straight into the starting 11 for the club of Manchester United if all goes on well as planned. So that is all about Carlos Baleba, and I think you've gone ahead obviously getting everything about the personal terms. They've gone ahead to be agreed, and here we come in peace to obviously leave this story and obviously tackle another one in a nick of time, because you people know the jewels that we obviously bring you 3 stories in one. You understand? First story, Baleba personal terms have gone ahead to be agreed. That's done and dusted. And let's get to another one. And that is all about a player known as Harry Amass. Harry Amass is one of those players that is going to excite us, you know. I think we got to saw Harry Amass in, when was it? The preseason of 2024. I think that's when we saw Harry Amass. You know, he went there and he really looked good. And Erik ten Hag never used him a lot, but he's the man that really gave him that shine and that fast optic presence in the club of Manchester United. And towards the end of the season, Ruben Amorim went ahead to use him, and he really looked good. And he played some good number of games, by the way, if you've been following up very, very well. So this player, known as Harry Amass, has obviously gone ahead to impress a lot. And due to the competition at Manchester United, our questions were, where is he obviously going to be playing? Because they've brought in very many players that play as left wing backs. And we are really having in Yes We Can, you understand? He's a Yorkshire Sheffield Wednesday journalist, meaning that he's a correspondent for Sheffield Wednesday. He has come up and told us the following, that Sheffield Wednesday have now opened up talks with regards to the potential signing of Harry Amass on loan for the 2025-2026 campaign. That's what we've gone ahead to get him through from Sheffield Wednesday. Now, I think it's worth a try for Harry Amass, because all I know is at the age of 18 where he is, all he needs is playing time. That is it. And when you look at Sheffield Wednesday, it's really a side that you can obviously send your player to go ahead and really improve there, because we know to it that he's really one of those that has gone ahead to put in a very huge shift. And they are playing in the championship, that is it. And when you look at what they did in the previous season, you know, let's obviously have to see how they really fared last season in the championship, because the table is already here. All right. Let's talk about the championship table. The championship table of last season, and see where Sheffield Wednesday really went ahead to obviously end, and see how this guy comes in through. So Sheffield Wednesday finished 12th in the championship last season. They played 46 games. They won 15. They drew. They won 15. They drew 13. They lost 18. Right? They scored 60 goals and they conceded 69 goals. That's a -9. And then they really had 58 points. That's why they went ahead to score. Now, when I see a player of United, a left back moreover, moving to the championship, do you know what comes to my mind? Carrares. You understand? Carrares comes to my mind. Why does he come to my mind? Because Carrares was one of those players that was loaned from Man United to Preston North End. He was a left back. He went in there and put in a lot of work. And from nowhere, he went ahead to sign, was it for Almeria, you know, in Spain on loan, you know, courtesy of what he had done in the championship. When he signed for Carrares, when he signed for Almeria, his loan was cut short because Benfica went ahead and obviously tell United, we want to sign this player on a permanent, and United had 8 million euros into their pockets with a sell-on clause and a buyback clause. And I think At the end of the season, Madrid came in through, triggered the release clause, and United went ahead to get him close to, were they 10 million euros from the sale of this player from Benfica to the side of Real Madrid. And that's some of the money that United went ahead to use to accomplish the deal of a player known as Bryan Mbeumo. You understand? So I see that blueprint, and if at all this player goes ahead and obviously goes there and really looks good, of which he's obviously going to look good because he's really talented, even if he really has 2 seasons in the championship, I think those will be enough for him to obviously elevate either to the Premier League or to any other league. But I believe if he gets in ample playing time, very many Premier League clubs will obviously come for him, and he will be one of the biggest players that United will obviously be having. And I think when you look at his skill set, no one at Man United really has it in as far as the left wing backs that are really available are. Luke Shaw can play as a left wing back, but I think this boy has a very good skill set. Diego Leon is good, but no one matches this. He doesn't match the skill set of Harry Amass. We can talk about a player called which other left wing back do we have? We have a guy called Patrick Dogu, very good, but his skill set doesn't match the skill set of this guy. I don't know whether I just like this guy Harry Amass, but his skill set is really out of this world. And if you've gone ahead to obviously follow him up, he's one of those that you'll obviously want to watch every time. That is Harry Amass for you into the mix. He's leaving Man United, and Sheffield Wednesday has gone ahead to obviously raise up their hand, obviously see to it that he really turns out into their player. But I think loan him there, get back to the preseason of Man United and see where he has gone ahead to reach. If at all he comes in through and really impresses Ruben Amorim, I know he'll obviously get up into the starting 11 for the club of Man United because he's a special talent, and remember, he's a home-based player, and he is one of those that he has been in the academy, and he has obviously gone ahead to pass through all the ranks of the Carrington Academy. You understand? So that's all about Harry Amass. And lastly, let's talk about the manager, Ruben Amorim. When asked about Benjamin Sesko yesterday, he said he's really young, he's good in the air, he's good running the channels, he's good on the ball, he has a great potential, I think he can improve a lot. So he says, obviously, his aerial prowess is undoubted. He's good running the channels, that's all known, He's good on the ball, and he has great potential. That is it. Benjamin Sesko is really one of the potentials that you'll obviously look at and really understand that we've gone ahead obviously poaching a very good talent. Remember, Ekitike, who has gone ahead obviously scored today in the Community Shield as Liverpool went ahead to display the side of Crystal Palace in there, was what United wanted. But I think when they went ahead and made history and made a thorough checkup onto the player was a Liverpool fan, and maybe he was really waiting for a team like Liverpool to come in through, and maybe he wanted to go there, Photos of him in Liverpool jerseys surfaced, especially the jersey of Steven Gerrard, you understand? So, Hugo Ekitike was a Liverpool fanatic, and United were like, let's not go in for Hugo Ekitike, because we will not even win the rest. And however much the player would have gone to decide to join Manchester United, but winning the rest of Hugo Ekitike would have gone ahead to be very hard. And the rest of Benjamin Sesko became easy because the team that wanted him, that is Arsenal, was like, we've gone ahead to go in for Benjamin Sesko. We've gone ahead to go in for Victor Gyökeres. And going in for Victor Gyökeres gave United a very huge open space to obviously beat Newcastle. I told you it was hard for Newcastle to beat Man United on a player like Benjamin Sesko, especially if at all Christopher Vivel came up and obviously explained the plan of Man United, and the project to Benjamin Sesko and the players he's obviously going to be playing around. Bruno Fernandes, Cunha, Mbeumo, Lisandro Martinez, Kobe Mainoo, the project really has youngsters, by the way. When you look at the club of Man United, it really has youngsters, and that's why it was easy to convince this youngster to come in through. And I think that's it for now. I'll talk more about Benjamin Sesko in the next video that I plan to obviously come live and really talk to you. But thank you for obviously being part of this this video. Your thoughts on Baleba personal terms agreed are welcome in the comment section below. Your thoughts on Harry Amass loan to Sheffield Wednesday also welcome in the comment section below, as Amorim hails a player known as Benjamin Sesko and his qualities that he thinks will obviously be a problem to the defenders of the Premier League. We out. Bye bye and see you later, my mates.